Alright, got a video, All Pro Football 2K8 here. This is some important stuff to talk about, because these are all generic guys, okay? The only attribute guys I've got is my quarterback, my tight end, and my wide receiver. My wide receiver really does nothing in this play because the wide receiver, the defensive back is playing so far off. So, in Madden, this play gets blown up a lot. Counters, pitches, sweeps, and traditionally they get blown up because when the line shifts, somebody shoots a gap. And in this play, I'm going to show you some stuff, and then I'm going to stop and I'm going to tell you what I think would happen in Madden, just having played it, and I hope you guys would all agree with me. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at my shift on my offensive line. Now in Madden, what happens is when this guy shifts, this defensive lineman or this linebacker shoot this gap, and they come back and they make contact with either my quarterback before he can hand the ball off and lead to a sack, or they make contact with my fullback and I get dropped in the back for 5 yards. Okay? So neither of that happens here. My line shifts correctly. Everybody continues to do their job. You see Dallas Clark blocks down. You see my fullback comes out to block the first guy in front of him. You see my offensive lineman comes with him. Now, the guy I'm running with doesn't have a lot of agility. He's a generic guy. He's just a good player. He's not a superstar by any stretch. Now you can see when he comes up and he hits my fullback, it's because he doesn't have the agility to shoot this gap. That's where the play was designed to go. I wanted to break outside because look at all this room. You know, I've just got my wide receiver engaged here, and really I've got this lineman, and if he can go make contact with the safety, I can just run over and angle in for a touchdown. But that's not what happens. You can see here, my fullback and my halfback engage, and I don't want to say communicate with each other because it's a video game. It's just little players, and I understand that. But they do things the way a real football, team would. You see, when they engage, my feet don't just run. Okay, I'm not just running in the back of him to run in the back of him. I'm actually putting my arm out on him, and I'm in essence, this is what happens in real football. You put your arm out on the guy that's blocking for you to say, "Hey, I'm behind you. I'm also steering you with my hand, and I'm also going to push off you when I go to start to accelerate again." So you can see I guide my fullback where I need him to block, and he changes his direction to do that. Okay? Now, up in front of me, I've got my offensive lineman. He's blocking the safety. The cornerback shoots around him. Okay? Now, in Madden, a lot of times this becomes a pro tack situation. I've got this cornerback coming in, and he's going to be able to lay a hand on me. But that's it. And why is he going to be able to lay a hand on me? Well, his route to me gets affected by a downfield block off a wide receiver, and he has to run around my safety and offensive lineman. Okay, so that changes his angle because he's running down the field. I'm running up the field. We're going separate ways. So he ends up over-pursuing me by no fault of his own, just having to interact with other players on the field. This allows him, again, like I said, to get a hand on me. And he gets a pretty good grab on my thigh. Now in Madden, this is when Pro Tack would engage. And Pro Tack would engage, he would kind of crawl up my back, and then you'd see this linebacker back here would shift over, float over to get involved. My offensive lineman would miraculously release this block, and this linebacker would shift over, or the safety rather, would shift over in front of me, and I would be stopped for a loss. Now, what happens in this game is, even with the generic guy, it's the pursuit angle that matters. He didn't have a good angle, so I can run through. Now I've got two linebackers, but I don't have the speed to beat them. You see, the first one makes contact with me. Chest to chest, practically. Okay? No pro tack. There's no grabbing here. The other linebacker is going to make contact, but he wants to just knock me out. He's not coming to stand me back up or just to grab me. He's actually not going to use his hands to tackle me. He's going to surge in, and yeah, there's a heck of a lot of warping here, but you can see, even though they're warping, physics and the players are respected because this other linebacker comes in with his chest and just forces us both, his teammate and me, backwards. And I fall backwards, a good 2 yards. And he comes in with force, and it's respected. He hits his own player to get to me. He doesn't have to run around to the side where his player isn't to make contact with me. He can hit me through his own player and force us both backwards. And that's okay, because that's what happens in real football. He sacrifices his body, and he sacrifices his teammate to make a play. And these are all generic guys. These are regular guys. There's no superstar players here. This is just how regular people in the game, average people in the game, play. We're going to play it one more time. And again, I hope you guys agree with me as to what would happen with this play in Madden, some of the issues Madden has, and how 2K8 does it a little better. I realize this is only one example, but I think as I showed you, this is one example where the 3, 4, 5 things this game does differently. Not just the blocking. It's the interaction with your blocker. It's the over-pursuit when blockers get in the way. It's the way tackles are missed. And it's the way 2 players engage from the defense with 1 offensive player. So I appreciate you guys sitting through this. I look forward to your comments, and I thank you for watching the video.